Local government autonomy and grassroots development. And we're joined now by Mr. Babatunde Rotinwa, who is a former head of service in Lagos. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you.
Well, it's a matter which really bothers a lot of people because they think if it's gotten right, governance at that low level, of course, there'll be a lot less pressure on the states, let alone the federal. It's more or less bringing development or democracy, if you will, at the doorstep of the people. Where are we missing the point in this regard?
Well, thank you very much. The 1976 reform it's already stated all the facts about grassroots administration. First and foremost, the reform addressed the issue of devolution of responsibility to the local government. But rather than practice devolution under the present arrangement, the state government are practicing deconcentration. Deconcentration simply means that you have an apparatus at the grassroots and they take instruction all the time from the state government. Whereas devolution is a legal entity, elections are conducted, councillors, chairmen are elected, and they now use the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria under the first schedule to perform their functions. But rather than allow them to perform these functions, the state government come under the excuse of so many things to corner the resources of the states or the local government and make the delivery of services at grassroots almost impossible.
Isn't it because the local governments have not actually been doing what they're supposed to do? You've been in the local government administration since the 70s. Compared to what we have presently, haven't they deviated from what the Constitution
I think it's very clear. You know, the local government have the role of bringing democracy at the grassroots. They also have responsibility of providing socio-economic services to the grassroots. Now, the political role, to my mind, is being performed maybe 60 to 70%. In other words, you get information from federal and state and take it to the grassroots in form of maybe primary education, health care delivery, and what have you. But the implication of this, rather than allow the socio-economic, which is delivery of services, as stated in the first schedule, you know, the local government are supposed to maintain tertiary road, they are supposed to take care of burial grounds, markets, so many other functions. But these functions predate that they have to generate a lot of funds where they perform this function. But some of the powers have been taken away. For example, let's consider tenement rate. Local government are supposed to charge tenement rate, accumulate so much so that they can render services. But under some arrangement, the state government has taken over some of this responsibility. Even the motor parks, even town planning. You see, in town planning, there's a local town planning committee with the chairman of the local government will be the chairman. And the essence of that is to remove the abuse. Some state government are complaining, and whenever they want to construct road, they have to demolish, they have to pay compensation. Meanwhile, construction is going on without regards to planning, because the local government are not involved in any planning. They fold their arms in their offices, and they don't make any contribution. The property developer abuse the plan and do so many things.
Why is that so? Is it because the government or the state don't even take them into consideration?
Well, the state government is so far to the grassroots. It is the essence of local governments to be able to participate in some of this development at that level. For example, in Lagos State now, we have 20 local government, 37 LCDAs. And the secretariat of the state government is at Alausa. How would they know what is going in the corners of Ekpe, Ibejuleki, Badagry, and so on and so forth? So, see, the thing is that the establishment of local government itself already, realizes that the local government must play a role. But I don't know the reason why the state is now withdrawing those powers. Even it's clearly stated in Schedule 4 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, delegating certain responsibility to the local government. But for reasons known to the state government, they have not allowed them. Even when the federal government, for example, the federal government graduated the allocation from 3% to 10% to 20%. Of course, the excuse is that the state government take care of salary, they have to deduct from source of local government. But that doesn't. When I was in the local government, we still make some contribution to the payment of teacher salary at the primary level, and we do some road construction, we maintain services. One of the most critical aspects of local government administration is healthcare delivery. especially this malaria thing. What causes malaria is stagnant water. You have to be able to clean drains, make sure that sanitation is, they have these health officers who parade communities and make sure that at least Nigerians observe the rules of hygiene. But those are not in non-existence now.
You know, I think you touched on a whole lot. It brings me back to the question Chamberlain asked. Why is it? Because if you talk about now, you've taken it to the healthcare delivery system, you talked about economy. It means that virtually all of those things lacking in our communities shouldn't have been if the local governments were actually functional. How did we get there? You talked about the attitude of these people. Why is it so that they can't even speak about it when they are starved of funds?
If you ask me, I will say that what really created this thing is one cannot blame the presidential system. We used to have a parliamentary democracy where councillors are represented and the chairman is elected. But when Babangida came in 1987 to create a presidential system at local government level, a lot of wasteful expenses incur. We have the chairman and his members, ESCO. We have the council. You know, council simply means the councillors and the leader, who is the jury speaker at that level. Now, you know, by the time you pay the salaries of all the councillors and you pay for all these other executives and buy them cars, a lot of money has gone. Not to talk about staff salaries. Now, by the time you now go back and say, okay, this function, how do we go ahead to? And one standing fast remains that the state government is so fearful that the local government should not make mistakes. And in an attempt to overprotect them, they take off their responsibility. Some, they even go to the extent of deploying some of the staff back to the state civil service. They've done that several times. They are fed up of doing that now.